Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law through this channel. I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this, this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategic or compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at some new questions for FINRA and the SEC. We're also going to be looking at the end game for MMTLP potentially coming soon, and also looking at a legal update, as well as looking at NVIDIA and big losses for the shorts. So before we get started, let's have a quick look at what's happening in the market. So first headline here, the stocks have been rallying and this has just been hit by a wall after AI-driven euphoria. The debt limit deal is facing the final test in Congress, and in terms of Nvidia, which we're going to be looking at shortly, it's very, very close to a $1 trillion value. In terms of the debt deal, we can see here Joe Biden and the House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy have reached an agreement in principle over the weekend. However, the agreement is just basically going to be subject to a vote. So this vote is probably going to be taking place Wednesday. So Wednesday will be a huge day for the markets. I think positive news on this vote, which should also lead to a tremendous rally. Let's start by having a look at NVIDIA. And remember, NVIDIA is a stock that we called out last week in terms of one of the stocks that we expected to be earnings, and it has crossed the $400 mark as expected. And in terms of the other stocks that we're watching this week for earnings, the ticker symbol CRWD and also CRM. And in terms of the huge losses for shorts from the Frank Nez website, we can see headline here: the NVIDIA shorts are down a whopping $4.1 billion in losses. So if you remember, there was a famous interview where there was a significant journalist who said NVIDIA is going to go down significantly, and we saw it go from approximately $100 to now today in excess of $400. So currently the stock is up approximately 29% over the previous 5 days, and the year to date it's currently up approximately 179%. So it's very, very close to the $1 trillion market, and it's now the 9th public company to ever surpass, at one point earlier today, the $1 trillion market valuation. And we can also see here in terms of the analyst ratings, 43 analysts are now giving this a 12-month forecast approximately $450. I think that is on the conservative side, and on a high we're expecting a valuation of approximately $600. So on a low, 175. So certainly don't expect to see 175 certainly in the short term. So good news overall there for NVIDIA. Let's now have a look at MMTLP and the end game. So shout out here to Diligence, who's posted a tweet here, which has also been retweeted by John Berda as well. So let's have a look at the message in this potential end game tweet. So first of all, it's looking at the question, does everybody want to get paid? So Drew is calling FINRA, he's also calling Congress, sending emails. So we are now at a critical stage, and we're looking at temporary close position only, and obviously that's for the trading, and that's for the shorts to close all their positions, and all counterfeits to also close. So NextBridge Hydrocarbons to be non-trading when it's over. And in terms of the scripts for FINRA, there are links there, so go ahead and check that in the post. Scripts for the Committee for Financial Services, and an email template there also for Congress. However, there is a key message here, and that in the scripts, please don't mention MMTLP, because apparently if you mention MMTLP, it gets passed over to the Ombudsman, and the authorities are not currently dealing with that. So you can mention NextBridge Hydrocarbons. So this is obviously titled The End Game, and the end is within reach, and that's what we are basically looking at right now. So the other latest messages, there is an article here apparently going to be released shortly from the Wall Street Journal, and Drew has also contacted this journalist, spoken to him for about 45 minutes. The article is likely to be skeptical. The mainstream media are certainly not on our side so far, and I wonder why that is the case. So that is an article that we're obviously going to be watching very, very carefully. I believe a number of prominent people people have also been reached out with regard to the article. So once we find out details of this article and the journalist involved, as a team, as a community of MMTLP, we will obviously respond with the truth. So continuing with the theme of Congress and why Congress needs to investigate and also fix the problem, shout out here to Mad Mike, who's identified some very important points on the left hand side. First of all, we have an illegally traded placeholder on OTC by GTSX and Canaccord, and we know the people behind that. OTC employs one hedge funds on live TV. The ticker will be squeezed, will squeeze and be deleted. U3 halt, U3 was used to halt this stock permanently by FINRA. The ticker changed from cancelled to deleted, so again that was also something that FINRA was responsible for, and we need a full investigation into. Investors have been left in limbo, without many of them, or should we say the vast majority, without Nexbridge Hydrocarbon shares. Broker dealers and FINRAs have been lying in emails. We have recorded calls. FINRA have been making up fake Ombudsman Jack Chase. Apparently, the Freedom of Information Act emails received show that FINRA and SEC were communicating about this and knew exactly what was going on, and that is something that I think there is a big mistake in the release of that Freedom of Information Act, and I think that will be used successfully in forthcoming legal cases. The share count is still unknown. We know there are probably potentially millions of synthetic shares. Cromwell Coulson has admitted short positions, and since then he has gone quiet and he's not even responding, because obviously he's being bombarded with a barrage of the truth. Blue sheets have yet to be released, and obviously FINRA certainly seems to be scared about releasing these blue sheets. Investors still do not have Nexbridge, as we said, and that's just a small list of reasons to investigate, and investors are asking for 2 days of trading, closed position only. So great post there from Mad Mike. So let's now have a look at KKEP, who's asked some important questions again for FINRA and the SEC. So these are written down in the form of a riddle. So 6 questions here. Number 1, if MMTLP was fraud and the FINRA and SEC put a disclaimer, why did they let it trade for a year, or maybe even more than a year, as we know? If MMTLP was not tied to the dividend, how were real dividend holders allowed to liquidate their positions on the open market? So again, great question there. If this was fraud, why are brokers lending out shares of the dividend and paying interest? Again, another great question. Number 4, if this was not Nexbridge or Hydrocarbons, why do I have Nexbridge Hydrocarbons in my account confirmed by my broker in writing that they are Nexbridge Hydrocarbons? So I think many brokers have confirmed that, so another question to be dealt with. How is it that some of my shares I bought on the 8th in AST if they are not in Nexbridge Hydrocarbons? And finally, you certainly seem to be a bright group, so the SEC and FINRA. Your fellow retail investors have been robbed. Are you not concerned? Were you not concerned by or surprised by the Freedom of Information evidence? And also sounds like you're also in MMAT. Look what you've done to the stock price, and we need to be looking at a solution. And the final thing I'd like to share with you here is a post from Mark, which is the latest update with regard to the New York petition update. So the Supreme Court has set an oral argument for the matter June the 13th, 2023, 2:30 p.m. I'm presuming that's Eastern time. The hearing is going to be done virtually through the court's video case management, so that means possibly they're not going to be a public gallery. Obviously we still need confirmation of that, and Mark will let us know. So obviously we can read whatever we like into this, but it's too early. So obviously Mark is also saying that he is talking to FINRA in the hope of resolving this before the hearing. So I'm quietly optimistic that that will happen, because it is in the interest for FINRA to resolve this. This is getting way too much out of hand. So the courts offer a convenience to counsel as a matter of courtesy. So for now, nothing to worry about, and nothing has changed, but a nice update there from Mark. And finally, if you would like to join us in our Discord, details are in the description below, and also this will give you the opportunity to receive our weekly watch list, where we've called out stocks such as Nvidia for the earnings, and this week we called out CRRWD and also CRM amongst other stocks. So we also have a daily stock alerts channel, as well as live trading discussions. And finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.